Alright, welcome back to another video. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, welcome back. This time it's going to be an MBK Aventure mountain bike. I think it's from the 80s, but yeah, I had a ride of it. It rides pretty sick actually. I thought it was going to be a little bit clunky just because it's so old, but it actually handled really well, felt really cruisy. It was easy to pick up the front, so pretty stoked on this one. Yeah, so I'm going to break down the bike and yeah, some tips along the way. Hope you like it. Cheers. All right, here's the bike check. Let's take a look. Start it from the top. Yeah, there's these cool grips here. Too bad they're kind of ripped off, but I kind of like the sponge and the flange there. It's kind of cool. It's pretty comfy when I was riding it. These XA shifters here, you can see they're pretty gummed up, so I'm going to fix those. XH brake levers, pretty cool, kind of like bigger moto style ones. I think that's pretty cool. Has a little rubber cap. Same on this side. This one works a little bit better, I think, but yeah, everything's there. Same with the grip. Two ends came off, so I'm gonna have to replace those. This little stem here with the dual Allens. And then the handlebar. I thought this handlebar was pretty cool. Kind of has like a sweep to it. But you can see here, if it focuses, MT Sakai, maybe mountain bike, old school brand. They make pedals and stuff. It just says the same thing on the other side. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it actually says MT Japan. So yeah, Japan components with this one. But yeah, MBK on the front stands for Motobecane, a French bike company. Usually makes a lot of road bikes back in the day. I didn't really see them make too much mountain bikes, so I was pretty stoked when I picked this up. Yeah, a little plastic hanger here. Good thing about plastic, there's no there's no rust on plastic, so that's good. I thought this was funny. I don't know what this little hanger thing is, but yeah, it's on the bike, so maybe I can work that out a bit later. Chromo forks. I think maybe that says high stability or strong stability. I don't know exactly. Yeah, look. A little mountain bolt here on the fork. Good for panners and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. XH hubs. And I think it's Wienerman rims. I don't know if you can see that right there. But yeah, overall pretty good. Some rust on some pieces like the skewers and the bolts, of course. But overall not too bad. Michelin tires. I think these are around 1.7. 1.75. Yeah, not sure. Cool little graphic on the top here. Cool color as well. I think that's gonna buff up pretty clean. Logo, clean logo. Chromo for the frame again. You can see XH front Mac, XH mountain, and then also XH mountain cranks, biopace rings, pretty good condition. Pretty stoked on this one. The shark fin here, pretty cool addition as well. It's just glued on, not zip tied on, so I'll see if that comes off pretty easily. Hopefully it doesn't crack. XH mountain group set, you can see all the rust on there, but hopefully I can get all that stuff off, clean it up. Recassette, pretty good nick, I think. And then yeah, the infamous stalk disc. XH hub again, XH mountain hub on the rear as well, so full XH group set. Same here with the canties, little plastic canties, but the brake pads seem pretty good. Little funky hanger here, and then there's like hole here as well for mounts, I guess. And then yeah, seat post. I checked the seat post, moves up and down, so pretty stoked about that. Here's the SR Lampard, La Parade maybe, La Parade, I don't know. Seat post. And then here, this saddle's actually, I looked on the bottom, it's made in Italy. But there's really no markings on it except for this. It just says VTT. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the bike. I'm gonna see if I can take it apart, see how we go. Hopefully I don't have to re-record this voiceover. Just trying something new today, so yeah, we'll see if this works. One more thing, I can zoom in. XH pedals. These are kind of like similar to the Dior ones I have. I really like these type of pedals. I think it just has a plastic body versus an alloy body. But yeah, these are gonna be super sick. And then yeah, cages, take these off. But yeah, the non-matching cages. Don't know what brands those are, but yeah, I'll probably take those off anyway, just keep them flat. But yeah, that's it. See how we go. All right, just taking off the pedals here. Yeah, I like to spray a bit of WD-40 on there first on both sides, just to help loosen things up. And yeah, just make sure your bike's on the ground. I learned that tip when I started first removing pedals off bikes, makes it way easier. And then yeah, just make sure you have a good pedal wrench as well, and that makes things real easy. So yeah, these pedals came off pretty easy. It was funny because one of the pedals had a hole where an Allen key would go on the end of the pedal, but for some reason the hole was kind of just rounded, and then the other pedal, it was completely flat. So yeah, you can see here's the hole. I'm not sure what it's for, but the other pedal was just flat where it was. So yeah, that was kind of strange. Never seen that before. Here, just taking off the chain. Just remember not to push the pin all the way through, otherwise it's never going to get back on. Or you can get back on, but it's hard. And then I like to put the chain in a plastic bag, so yeah, you can keep your things clean. Chains are usually pretty dirty. And then because I'm taking all the cables off and throwing them out, I decided I'm going to cut them. They're pretty wrecked anyway. So yeah, just cutting the cables there, taking off the front mech, the rear mech. Here, just popping out the little crank cap with a screwdriver. And then what you want to do is I actually have a socket tool at the end of my crank puller tools, so I want to remove the nut on the inside first. So this is pretty straightforward. Just turn it anti-clockwise. Make sure you remove the nut before you try to remove the crank, otherwise you're gonna strip your threads. And then I like to use a little bit of WD-40 in there just to loosen things up again. I finger wind on the crank remover tool and give it a slight turn to make sure it's all flush, make sure it's straight, and then you wind down the little silver bit there just to push the crank out. And yeah, this bike had no problems. Cranks actually came off pretty easy. I was pretty stoked about it. Usually if one side comes off, the other side is going to be pretty easy as well. And then here, yeah, just for the other side, just follow the same procedure. Make sure to take that nut off, put in the crank remover tool, slight turn, and then wind down the silver thing, and then yeah, it should pop out. No problems there. Here I just decided I'm going to put the bike on a stand. You can remove most things without a stand, but sometimes it helps just to keep things a little bit more stationary. And then here, just removing the back wheel, pulling the quick release, and then unhooking the brake, and then you can pull out the wheel. And then here, removing the grips. I use a little bit of WD-40 and a zip tie. I put a zip tie on the bottom of the handlebar between the grip, and just kind of twist and pull them off.
If I was saving these grips, I might consider using just water just to get them off, not WD-40, because WD-40 it's a solvent, so it can kind of melt the rubber a little bit, but usually it's fine. But yeah, here just cutting more cables off. Cutting the cables off, the old cables actually made this real easy rather than trying to save them. But yeah, they couldn't be saved anyway, so I had to do that. And then here with these levers, these are kind of like, if you ever worked on road bikes, they're kind of like the levers on road bike. There's the screws actually inside the lever, so you got to pull on the lever, and then there's a little screwdriver head which you can unwind, and then it'll loosen it. So yeah, no socket bolt for this one. And then yeah, pretty straightforward. Same thing with the other side. Not too much to it. Follow the same procedure. Yeah, this is kind of like the first kind of problem that I had. The handlebar was like super tight on this stem for some reason, and because both of them were painted, the stem was painted white and the handlebar was painted black, I didn't want to like scratch it, so I ended up putting an Allen key in between yeah, that little gap there to kind of widen it a little bit to pull the handlebar out. The handlebar did get a little bit scratched, but yeah, not as, I just did what I can, you know. And then here, just taking the stem out. Sometimes when taking the stem out, the wedge might be stuck inside. Just use the bolt, wind it through, and then you can pull the wedge out. And then here, just taking off the candy brakes. No problems here. Just unwind them counterclockwise and they'll pop off. Yeah, there's this shark fin here. Because it wasn't held up by zip ties or anything, it was just glued on. I just wanted to make sure I used a little bit of WD-40 so when I'm pulling it off it didn't snap or anything. But yeah, it ended up coming off pretty easy, but there was like tons of residue which I had to clean off later. And then there was this little plastic bit for the cable guide. So yeah, just be careful of these little things when taking apart a bike because they're real easy to lose, and then once you build the bike you're like, oh, why isn't it working? And then that's usually why. Here, just taking off the seat post. Yeah, so I use an Allen key to use it as a wedge for the stem. Here I use an actual tie lever, so a plastic tie lever is way better just because you're not going to damage your parts and it just works just as good. So yeah, there's a little tip for you. And then here, taking off this funny little front bracket off the fork. So yeah, by this point everything's basically off the bike, no real problems. I guess the second problem here is there's this like rusted nut and bolt on where a stand would go, and yeah, I had to use a pair of pliers and a shifter to get it off, but it came off. Here, just taking off the bottom bracket. So yeah, just a lock ring tool. Take off the lock ring first, and then you can use one of these kind of wide pin tools. I don't know what they're called, but then you just put them in the holes and then it unwinds the bottom bracket. So yeah, these came out pretty easy. And then when I pulled out the spindle, there was like a ton of grease on there. So I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Pretty stoked on that because usually if there's tons of grease, it means it's not dried up or anything. And then yeah, the bearings were super good. Yeah, this is basically the main problem I had with the bike was this cup was super stuck. I tried everything. I tried penetrating oil. I tried using a hammer. I tried putting tons of pressure. I tried pulling on it super hard, but it just was stuck. So I decided I'm just going to leave it for now. But yeah, the headset came off real easy, and you can see the forks have been removed. But yeah, everything's out. You can see the pedals, cranks, seat, handlebars, brakes, everything. Yeah, when I was looking at the bike, there was this kind of cool sticker, security checked, and it has like I think Emirates logo. I don't know if it's Emirates, but it's like an airline logo, so it must have got shipped to Australia at one point, made a flight somewhere, which is pretty cool. And then here, yeah, just going through the process of cleaning. So what I used to clean is a detergent and soap mix with water, and then I use WD-40 on the hard stains, and I'll use a brush and an old scourer pad just to scrub it off. But yeah, what you see is basically just the amount of work you put in. You gotta this probably took the longest, just scrubbing it, making it all clean. And then after I do that, I T-cut the whole frame. I don't T-cut all frames, but for this frame, I think it needed it. It was just like looking real rough. It had rust bits everywhere. But yeah, this is how you put on T-cut. You just put it on, and then you kind of wipe it down until it's clear, and then you spray it with water, and then wipe off the rest. And yeah, this is the frame. Came out pretty clean. Pretty happy with the result. Kind of looks super shiny now with the T-cut. There's still, those scratches and whatever, the rust bits, but yeah, it's an old frame, so it's going to have a bit of that. And then here the forks, clean up the forks as well. It looks fast on video, but actually it took ages to do it. Took, I think, maybe like an hour or two. And then yeah, here's the final frame. Pretty stoked on it. I think it's gonna build up pretty cool with like new cables and stuff. Not in the best condition, but yeah, it has a bit of character. And then yeah, here's just a different angle. But yeah, that's basically it. The frame's all ready to go. What I need to do now is just clean the parts, and yeah, I think we can get moving on it soon.
Alright guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. I think everything turned out pretty sweet. Just the button bracket cup, couldn't get that out, but yeah, either try again or just clean out the spindle and stuff. But yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Thanks to anyone who bought stickers. Yeah, hope you have a good day. Peace out.